Let's go. I'm Christopher Pitt, and welcome to the Pursuit to Own podcast. At Pursuit to Own, we are pursuing ownership at every level of life. Whether it's mindset, business, life, or real estate, our goal is to get you from renting to owning your future. See, I felt the pain of poverty growing up as a sharecropper in zip code 27843. I understand the struggle of living in a one-bedroom shack, owning nothing, not even running water. But I turned that pain into purpose by becoming a premier affordable housing community developer, providing 27,843 ownership opportunities in marginalized communities. Here's the truth. Ownership starts in your mind, regardless of your situation or location. Whether you are escaping the poverty trap, buying a home, or starting a business, the pursuit to own mindset is the key to unlocking your zip code and success. Join me to discuss new innovative ways to own real estate with tokenization, blockchain, crowdfunding, fractional ownership, and so much more. Let's go. Welcome back to Pursuit to Own TV, where we want you owning at every level of life. Guys, today we're going to call this is a red alert edition. That's right, red alert edition, right? Because the untouchable in housing has been touched. That's right, the untouchable in housing has been touched. For many of you guys that don't know, there's a lot of different budget cuts happening under this new administration. And one of the things they're proposing now is huge. I'm talking about huge cuts to what is known as the Section 8 Homeownership Voucher Program, right? What does that mean for you? Well, it means a lot of things. Let's just address it. So what we're talking about is impacting 2.3 million people. And that's the main thing why this is a red alert. I need you to listen. If you're anywhere in the country, if you're anywhere in this country and you have a voucher, you need to listen, share this, send it to whoever you know, because this is going to impact you. Because regardless of how deep the cups will be, there will be impact, right? So let's discuss that for a second. What does it mean? See, guys, what most people don't understand when they think about a voucher, they think about it from a rental perspective, from a lot of different reasons, because that is what most people think they can only do with that. But what if I told you that any voucher, these 2.3 million people around here now had the opportunity to create that voucher into a mortgage? What would you say? Most people don't understand that can happen, right? Because the process of doing that is a very cumbersome, it's a lot of complication to it, and somebody need to figure it out, right? And that's why it's underutilized, because you got people that are trying to be first-time home buyers, trying to stabilize their life, and also dealing with the banks, trying to be qualified, and then you got to go out and compete in the marketplace. That is a lot. That's a lot happening right there. So that's why this amazing product has not been utilized. But for most things, this is what I really want to bring to the table, how it really going to impact you, right? By just saying that the untouchable is going to be touched, meaning they're going to touch Section 8 voucher. So the only reason the rental assistance market is so good right now is solely for one reason. Most investors, they only care about what? You know it, the guaranteed rent, right? That is how the Housing Authority has built out the rental assistance program, because they need landlords to participate, right? They need landlords to be able to house the people that they serve. And guess what? That's not an easy thing, right? Because it's different, different regulations. There's a lot of things you have to go through to be into that program. Now, they've been trying to clean that up, again, trying to get it more landlord friendly. Why? Because we need more affordable housing. We need more opportunities for people in the low middle class to have opportunities through at housing, right? So what we're saying is, if you cut that by 40%, what are you really saying? You're not just cutting money, you're cutting people's lives, right? You're literally putting people on the street. That is how serious this is going to get. The ramifications for this, it's unknown at this point, because what will happen is the minute you start saying that guarantee is not a guarantee anymore, immediately most landlords are going to stop participating, right? Because that's the only reason they're doing it. Number one. Number two is, if you don't have that guarantee, you're already in a marketplace where you have to be accepted. That's right, which is unbelievable to me today, meaning that you have to find somewhere that accepts a voucher. You're already limited at that point, right? So if you are in this, you can see where this is going. This again is why this is a red alert, because regardless of what happens in this actual next year's budget, understand it's still going to be impacted, and they're going to continue to work towards cutting this fund down as much as possible. That is going to impact you. I'm saying all this because a lot of things got to happen for you, and this is for people that have a voucher, to really protect yourself at this point, right? I know for years we have all seen the benefit of the rental assistance program, Section 8. It has really stabilized a lot of lives out there, right? But what happens if that goes away? What do you do? That's the question. What do you do? Here's what we got to get to. There's several different programs around the country that have some home ownership program in it, right? Now, to get in that program, you have to be ready to start preparing yourself for ownership, right? That thing starts 2 or 3 years ago, right? You can get in there, get yourself in position. But here's the problem we have, because I'm doing this around every, state. I'm trying to work with housing authority because I really want to get down to addressing this. So the thing that most people don't know, we have taken a great interest in this particular sector, because for me, my job is to create home ownership where it is not given. And that is one of the most underutilized services in the country. And then when I see it about to be pulled away, the only thing I can think about is that's millions of more first-time home buyers that are going to lose the opportunity for home ownership, going to lose the opportunity for stability, going to lose the opportunity for generational wealth, right? That's what I heard when I saw that. I'm thinking about you. You, and you. That's what I'm thinking about. So here's what we got to do, guys. The whole thing has got to change. Flat out, all of it has got to change. Meaning the pace that you're at in these home buying courses, we have got to get to the point faster, right? We have got to get you ready faster to take advantage of the opportunity, right? You don't have the luxury of time anymore. You just don't. And you need to proceed that way. You need to get in pursuit today, right? Because regardless of what happens next year, know that it is a possibility now. Before it was untouchable, but now it's been touched. Understand that, right? So a lot of things are going to happen. So here's one thing we have to do. So we at Pursuit Down, we've built an ecosystem around this because, again, we are thinking about home ownership at every level of life, right? We're thinking about how to get you through them doors. The problem is, do you think about it? Do you think about how to get through them doors? The problem we're trying to address with this is a lot of the stuff we're doing is based on old business models. Guys, if we're still trying to open bank accounts, if someone has to tell you, right, you need to pay your bills on time, we're in trouble. Like, we are in trouble. More importantly, you are in trouble, right? It can't start there, guys. You are in the race now. We're in a race to ownership right now. Because what is happening is the absolute gap, at first it was a growing gap. They're about to eliminate the whole bottom layer with home ownership if this goes through. That's how important this is. That's how important I take it. Right? So the first thing we have to do, we have to get realistic, and got to get realistic right now. Because when I'm in these, home buying courses, and I'm speaking directly to these individuals, and I understand, what we all want. When we say we want home ownership, again, we're thinking about, half-acre land, white house, no neighbors. Sounds great. Sounds amazing. Doesn't mean it's a reality, right? And that's what we have to do. I've seen so many people stuck in first-time home buyer programs just won't take the next step because they are trying to, visualize something that is unattainable. It's unattainable, right? Because especially if you have a voucher, let's get this straight. You have a payment standard. That payment standard is based on bedrooms, right? So you kind of know what you can spend, what you can't spend, right? Based on that area. So if you know that you're pretty much with the voucher you can get and the payment you can get, you're coming out and you're around that 180, 200,000 mark, that doesn't change, right? So now you have to go find something in these, amazing communities that for 200,000. Guess what, guys? They doesn't exist. They don't exist. And I hear so many times people miss the opportunities that does exist right in their backyard, right? I get told so many times. So at the heart of things, I am a real estate community developer. The main thing I do is go into underserved community, and my job is to bring ecosystems in place so that place can grow, not just flip homes. I don't go anywhere to just flip homes. I go where the city is working in it. I go where the state is putting investment in. We go to where people have the opportunity to grow. That's what we do. That's how we identify where we're at, what regions we're gonna work in, what home buyers we're gonna work in, right? So if I'm telling you all this, it's because what I cannot allow to keep happening is when I'm telling people that here's our opportunity, right? We gotta reframe what we think, right? If you can't get the dream home, you gotta go straight to what is the best investment home that can get me my dream home. That's the missing piece. Because of the market, you can't just go from where you at today, renting voucher, to owning the dream home somewhere. It's too far too little, right? You'll never get there. So we got to get more realistic about this. We got to get more realistic. So here's the thing we got to work through. This is the biggest thing I hear all the time. Oh, that house is in the hood. Really? That house is in the hood. I'm sorry, where do you live? Right? Because what I don't understand is the minute we say home ownership, they don't understand the power of that. If someone's saying that home ownership is coming into this neighborhood, that neighborhood is naturally changing solely because of home ownership, right? Things are going to change. People are going to take better care of their property. People are going to take better care of what happens on their street. People are going to call the police. People are going to call. More services are coming to your community because they're homeowners, right? These are the things you guys are not being taught. You're just held down by the pain of the past of what that place used to be. And I swear I get it. I get it. But if somebody is telling you and illustrating you and showing you and bringing you along, at some point, you got to make a decision for yourself. Because again, you cannot take all the risks out of whatever house you purchase. You can't do it. It's impossible, right? You can't control where crime goes. Crime goes to good neighborhoods too, right? I get it. But here's the thing, let's stay on topic with this. If you are renting in that area, you have rented there for 10 years, why would you want to leave it when the place turns and more investment comes and it becomes a home buying community and you leave it? Let me get this straight. You stayed when it was bad, but when it turned to be good, you left. That makes no sense. Right? You got to be able to see where that market is going. Again, this is not an easy decision. You're making a decision not just for you. It's a decision based on your family. Hopefully it's based on your kids' family, something that you can pass on. Now, the hack for this is simple, right? We all are in a position where you're starting out. Your goal should not be that is your ending. That's not the ending. If you're in this program, your goal is to keep going, keep succeeding, right? You don't want to be trapped in any box. So if you want the dream home, you go identify a home that can create equity for you, right? I give you a great example. I'm working on homes right now. Here's a great example for you. That was the hood, right? The hood. When I went over there, a renovated home would cost about $90,000. 90, right? Today, they're going for what? Somebody tell me. $250. Same hood. I'm sorry, $250 in the hood. That's the hood, right? So think about what just happened to that neighborhood. Now that neighbor that's bought that home, 5 or 10 years ago, that person finally in that time in their life got a chance at equity in their home. They just paid their mortgage and stayed in place. And you know what's happened? Because everything around it was building up, their equity was just climbing and climbing and climbing. So they probably bought them homes at 90 grand, 75 grand at that time. You know what they're worth now? I don't know, 200, that's as is, right? That is the opportunity you are throwing away. That's the opportunity you're throwing away. Because if you can stay in them homes for the 5, 10 years, whatever it may be till you get to that point, that delta between what you paid and what it's worth in the next 5 to 10 years, right? That is your opportunity to go find you that dream home in the community you want to be in. Ownership is about options, guys. Ownership gives you opportunity, right? So we cannot fall for the renter's trap. It is meant to keep you renting. Now, I'm saying all this because I'm watching this happen, and now it's just so timely that the untouchable has happened. The thing we thought would never happen. Somebody, Section 8 may not be guaranteed. Like, that's going to send shockwaves to all of the people in the landlord space. You know it, and I know it. And all the times I hear about how the landlords are, they're not the best landlords based on the areas and who they rent to, because the pool of landlords that you got to rent from is limited. So my advice to you is, if you have an opportunity to go buy something that's yours, even if it's still close to where you live at today, it is worth everything to do that instead of remaining rented in the same space. Like the people that tell me that, that's the hood, I won't buy there. You know where I see them at 5 years from now? Living in the same place they said they would never do, but they're renting. They still rent. They will rent there, won't own there. That's the conditioning and the mindset we got to change, guys. We have to change it. You're talking about people over there in a 2 to 3 window period went from $90,000 to $200,000 just by sitting in place. That's wealth, guys, right? That's that little thing that happens that everybody keeps talking about, right? Making money while you sleep, making money while you're doing things that you would do on a normal basis, right? But if that place was renting, right, that $90,000 house, and now they're renting, right? You're paying that rent. You're happy to pay the rent. Guess who just made $100 grand? Guess? That landlord that you complain about all the time. So again, if it's good enough for the landlord to make the $100 grand, and it's good enough from people from other areas to come and see that this area is changing and they move here and put down roots, why is it good enough for you? Like, these are the conversations we really have to have. And it's not just the stuff that's in these home buyer books. Like, these are like really life lessons that we got to go through. It's a mind shift that we have to go through, right? Because if not, again, the system is designed to keep you in there, right? I'm telling you, got one of the most powerful advantages in home buying right now that you need to take advantage of. Now, what you got to do is be able to be with somebody that understands it, right? So at Pursuit to Own, we are dedicating to literally closing down the conversion, the timing of this thing, right? Improving the conversion rate around the nation, right? Because utility matters, right? When you see something that's less than 1%, people don't want to fund that. People don't think it's a serious thing, right? And I think about all these people, 2.3 million people that can literally go out and start the process and become an owner. But most of them won't because of a lot of different reasons, right? Most of them won't. So, and again, if you have no need for homeownership, this is not for you. This is not for you. But if you ever thought about a home, if you're driving by and you're like, man, I would love to have that as a home one day. If you're telling your kids, we're gonna buy a house one day, I'm talking to you. I am talking to you, all right? You have to get in pursuit today. Today. I'm telling you now, the untouchable has been touched. Does not mean it's open, but you gotta understand, the door is still open for this opportunity. What I need you guys to start doing is taking it serious. The thing you have to do in life, and on so many different levels, is bet on yourself. I can't say that. You have to bet on yourself, guys. You have to be the person that changed your life first before anyone else decide to help you. That's how this thing works. It's always going to be a reason why something won't happen when you're transitioning. It's meant to be that way. Transitions are hard, right? So if you're looking for an excuse, you're going to find one. If you're looking for an excuse, you're going to find one. That's how this thing works, because the thing is, there's thousands and hundreds of reasons why you shouldn't pursue home ownership. But you got to find the one reason why you should. And you got to hold on that, everything you got. Because you got to block everything out and you have to go for it, right? Because what you can't do is see yourself 5 years from now, see yourself 10 years from now, right? If you don't do something different, we already know what that looks like, right? We already know what it looks like. So what are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? We got to speed up the pace of home ownership. Even in today's market, overall, just for my first-time home buyers in general, We're already getting beat out of the marketplace. You have Blackstones, you have these conglomerates coming in buying thousands of homes at a pop, taking them out of your communities, and guess what they're doing with them? Renting, right? Renting. So if you're seeing that this competitive advantage is just really with the bigger investors now, what are you going to do? Where are these options coming from? So this is where you have to understand how to get with people that can show you unrealized opportunities, meaning that here's what it looks like today. Here's what it looks like 2 and 3 years ago. Here's the market conditions around it. And then you make a decision, right? Then you make a decision. Yes, that is going to involve a little faith in your decision, right? But you have to walk in faith if you're trying to change your life. You have to do it. Everybody does. It's not going to be laid out for you. It's just not going to be laid out for you. So you have to understand that. So what we have been working on so hard is really the first-time home buyer. Again, that's who we're here for. But this particular niche is something that has always been something I've been trying to become a solution for, because I've seen how powerful it can be, but I also seen how it's underutilized, right? But now, because they're threatening it, it's go time. We don't have time. I'm sitting here worried about you, right? I'm worried about you. Because I don't want you to go, imagine this. Did you know if you get a mortgage, you got 15 years of support from your housing authorities? 15 years. That means they will pay that mortgage like they paying your rent, 70%, right? Let's do some math. If you got a $1,000 mortgage, the housing authority is going to continue to pay that $700 like they always have, giving you a 15-year runway to become self-sustaining. What do you think happens in year 15? You're going to get at year 15, and guess what you're going to have? This beautiful thing called equity. Matter of fact, if you do it right, like we're teaching people at Pursuit to Own, you may end up with a house paid off in 15 years. Now, that's change. Because why? Think about owning a home, and now you, at the end of that period, you are so afraid what's going to happen year 16. In year 16, you have a home that is clear of debt. What would that do for your life? What would that do for your family? These are the things we have to think about when you're first generational. Somebody have to have the courage to snap the poverty chain. Somebody got to do it. Somebody has to do it. Now, let's fast forward to what is being proposed. Yeah, let's talk about it. So now, in this bill, the runway goes from 15 to 2. Now, from 15 years to 2, do you think you can get your life turned around fast enough in 2 years? That is the question you need to ask yourself, or you need to get in now while you have a longer runway. All right? My thing now is we're teaching you how to prepare yourself for that 2-year window, because what happens if it goes away, it's not coming back, right? So you're gonna your life still continue, and you got to start preparing for that. You can't act like you don't hear it. I'm telling you. These are the discussions that you need to be having with your family. These are the discussions that you need to have in your circle of people. You got to go out there and figure out a way to protect your family. And if ownership is something you're intrigued, you got to go now. You have to go now. Because in this ecosystem that we're building out, it's going to be very few times that you're going to deal with someone who has control of the properties, also have control of the financing, and also have the compassion for you because it used to be there. Used to be there. Matter of fact, we was too broke for a voucher. We couldn't even get to a voucher, right? We on the waiting list, right? You know how that feels. Think about all those people, right? So what is literally going to happen overnight if this is passed? Everybody's on a waiting list. And you're talking about maybe millions of people that's on a waiting list. I'm talking about waiting for 5, 10 years. Immediately, gone. Anybody that was in the process of any kind of temporary voucher, gone. Boom. Guys, this is serious business. This is a serious business. And like I said, this is a red alert. But that's why I Pursuit on here. We're not here because I will be telling you this even if I never saw what the proposed budget is, because that is how I live life. And that's how I want you to live life. I don't live life waiting on others to hope they do something for me. That doesn't work for me. And it shouldn't work for you. So what I am really good at, using whatever I have to leverage to get me what I need to get to, right? That's what I'm trying to do for you. So instead of saying that place is the hood, really sit back and have somebody explain to you what that place could really mean to you and your family. Before you go on Redfin and just look at an address and think about all the trauma that was there, go back to the area, check it out, ride through it, see what's going on, see what's around the block, right? See if there's a poodle walking down the road with a Starbucks coffee yet, right? Look for those things. And I promise you, once you start to visualize yourself in there, your opportunities are going to go up. It is no reason why you need to keep getting your hopes up, right? And keep getting beat out of the market. So let's just say you got approved and you got a real estate agent. Now you're on the market. Maybe you even found a house in your price range. You know what happens next? You still competing with people in the private market. They can up the bid, their contract becomes better than yours, and boom, you out. And guess what? They got more opportunities than you do because they can go up more. This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So you have to align what your capacity is. You have to align what you can actually afford to own and not be a prisoner of that property, right? My thing is find the path of growth. That is the quickest route to wealth. That is where things are going to go from, if you understand appreciation, those are the areas that appreciate the most because you're changing everything around it. And every time that happens, it ticks up, it ticks up, it ticks up. Your bank account, your net worth, everything goes up. That's what you are losing every time you decide to not buy, when you have the opportunity, when you are literally in the position to have the opportunity, right? So this is going to be something we're going to talk a lot about. You're going to hear a lot more announcements around this, but as of right now, if you're out there and you have a voucher and you want to understand what you can possibly do with them, go to pursuitoown.com, right? We are here for you, right? Because a big part of this is going to be educating people on what they can do with the voucher. The next biggest part is going to be that mindset shift. We're running out of time. You are running out of time. So if owning something is on your agenda, you have to get in position today. The door is closing. You can't sit in those classes for 5 years no more. Can't do it. So if you're ready and you're ready to get in pursuit and you know you're ready to break the poverty chains, right? You're ready to take that step out and be self-sufficient, right? You're ready to see your kids see a better version of what life can be. If that's you, go to pursuitoown.com. But in the meantime, till the next time, stay in pursuit. Let's go!
Thank you for listening to the Pursuit to Own podcast. If today's episode inspired you, don't stop here. Take the next step toward owning your future. Visit pursuittoown.com to sign up and join our growing community of wealth builders. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Pursuit to Own for updates, tips, and success stories. Together, we're turning dreams into assets. Until next time, stay in pursuit.